War, and especially the Second World War, left an unforgettable scar in human history, taking countless lives in its wake. Because it was such a time of upheaval, it continues to inspire the imaginations of many artists today, becoming the backdrop for a wide range of cultural and artistic works.
In this episode, we'll be looking into the musical Operation Mincemeat, which is set during World War II, and exploring the story it tells. Please note, this video contains spoilers for Operation Mincemeat. Operation Mincemeat is based on a true story from the Second World War. In 1943, a group of British MI5 agents carried out an extraordinary mission, using a corpse to deceive Hitler and help turn the tide of the war. What makes this musical stand out is that it's performed by just 5 actors who portray over 80 characters, regardless of gender, within the British military and intelligence community. The show also boldly chooses comedy as its genre, transforming what could be a dry historical war tale into something sharp, witty, and thoroughly entertaining. It went on to win an Olivier Award and was even nominated for Best Musical at the Tony Awards. Back in 1943, the British Army was on the back foot. To get to mainland Europe, they needed to go through the island of Sicily, but it was heavily occupied by German forces. The Germans outnumbered the British 10-1, so a direct assault would have been suicidal. That's when one MI5 officer came up with a daring idea. They would dress up a corpse as a British officer, plant fake classified documents on the body claiming that the Allies were planning to invade elsewhere, and let it wash ashore. Hoping it would fall into German hands and reach Hitler. It was, quite literally, a gamble. There was no guarantee the body would even be found, let alone believed. But, against all odds, the plan worked. Tens of thousands of German troops were moved away from Sicily, buying the Allies enough time to launch a successful invasion. The creators of the musical said they were drawn to the story because it shows that even the smallest people, or the smallest group, can change the world. In today's world, we still see immoral, irrational decisions being made that sacrifice the few for the many. The corpse used in the operation was once a living person, with a name and a life, but he was used simply as a tool, his identity erased. And the MI5 agents who pulled off one of the most pivotal operations in the war were eventually forgotten by history, taught in no schools, honoured in no textbooks. The writers wanted to share a story of these small people who stood together and shaped the course of history through their solidarity. Because World War II stories can often feel heavy and dry, the team knew they needed a creative way to bring the story to life. They wanted the music to sound like it came from the 1940s, but with modern lyrics and rhythms, so that it wouldn't feel like a story trapped in the past. Since the plot moves rapidly across different locations, they also felt it was important that the music could constantly shift to reflect that. Using only a handful of hats and props, the 5 cast members skillfully transform into over 80 characters, capturing the imagination of every audience they face. As a result, what began in a tiny 80-seat theatre in London back in 2019 has now grown into a massive success, with the show performing on Broadway in a theatre with 800 seats, after winning the Olivier Award. If you'd like to see more stories behind international musicals and their creative journeys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This has been Broadway Korea, honouring everyone behind the scenes who made it possible.